Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्. We'll do the invocation. Antaryascha bahirvidhutatimiram ज्योतिर्मयं शाश्वतं स्थानं प्राप्य विराजते विनमताम् अज्ञानमुन्मूलयन् पश्यन् विश्वमपीदमुल्लसति यो विश्वस्य पारे परः तस्मै श्रीरमणाय लोकगुरवे शोकस्य हन्त्रे नमः. We'll chant from verse number 1 to verse number 5. Ready? Karturajñaya prapyate phalam कर्म किं परं कर्म तज्जडं कृतिमहो ददौ पतनकारणं फलमशाश्वतं गतिनिरोधकम् ईश्वरार्पितं नेच्छया कृतं चित्तशोधकं मुक्तिसाधकम् कायवाङ्मनः कार्यमुत्तमं पूजनं जपश्चिन्तनं क्रमात् जगत ईषधी युक्तसेवनम् अष्टमूर्तिभृत् देवपूजनम्. So we have completed 5 verses of Upadesha Sara. The 5th verse, Jagata Ishadi Yukta Sevana. The 5th verse we saw last time was that Jagat, that world, Ishadi Yukta. Look at the world with that notion that this is God. And that kind of seva is Deva Pujanam. That kind of seva where I look at the world as God, that is called Deva Pujanam. And who is this God? Ashtamurti Brit. Ashtamurti Brit, the one endowed with 8 aspects. The 5 elements, space, air, fire, water, earth, the sun, the moon, and that very jiva. So when we do puja, we are in the topic of Bhakti Yoga. When we first do puja to our Ishta Devata, to one form of God with that bhava. But as we expand, the real puja is really seeing God in the whole world. And we talked about what that experience is like. What is that like when we see God in the whole world? There's a sense of awe. There's a sense of appreciation. That's how everything so beautifully works. There's a sense of interconnectedness. There's a sense of awareness that every single thing I do affects so many people around me. So therefore, let me be extra careful with my thoughts, with my words, with my deeds. There is this sense of unity, sense of oneness. And there's also the sense of wondering that if there's something or someone in my life that's giving me a hard time, then what is that trying to teach me? It's also seeing that as a lesson, as God trying to teach me a lesson. So we look at the world as God, as that is our puja. That is the highest level of puja, seeing this world as God. Now, in the verse before, in the fourth verse, he said, Puja, Japa, Chintana. So now he talked about puja. Now he's going to move on to Japa. Okay, so today we will see all about Japa. So let us go to verse number 6. I'll chant and then you repeat. Uttamastavad Uchamandataha Chittajam Japa Dhyanamuttamam. Let's say it together. Uttamastavad Uchamandataha Chittajam Japa Dhyanamuttamam. So now here, just as he explained the different kinds of puja, here he's explaining the different kinds of japa. Okay, so first let's see the word meaning, then we'll go into japa. Uttama, superior, then stava. Stava means stuti. So stavat means then stuti is ucha. Ucha is loud chanting. Manda is soft chanting with the lips. Chitta Jam Japa is chanting with the mind. Dhyanam Uttamam. This mental japa is the best. So among the japa now, he's also telling us where do we start from and where is the best. So first let's take a look at what is japa. So when we talk about japa, japa means the repetition of a name of God. So janmanaha pate iti japa. That which protects us from this cycle of life and death, that's called japa. And japa is nothing but the repetition of the name of God. That is called japa. What are examples of some japa? So we have seen some Pauranic mantras. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Shri Mahalakshmyai Namaha, Om Shri Krishnaya Namaha. These are some of the Pauranic japas that are based on an Ishta Devata, whom we connect with. There's also what we call some Vedic mantra japa, like Gayatri japa, like Mahamrityunjaya mantra. Like that, there are also those kinds of japas. What are these mantras essentially? Mananatrayate iti mantra. Mantra means that which protects those who contemplate on it. So many times when we have mantras, we like to play them on YouTube. And to spiritually charge the atmosphere, and at least we're hearing good sounds. That's very good, but the essence of mantra is the one who chants it, that person it protects, not the one who plays it on YouTube. The one on YouTube who plays it on YouTube will get some peace and everything like that, but the one who chants it, that person will be protected. And the mantra is as effective as the purity of the one who chants it. So if I'm just chanting just like that, that mantra is not effective. But if I chant it with utmost purity, then that is very effective. So that is called japa, which uses that mantra. Now, this japa he is saying is superior to stava. So what is stava? Stava means stuti. Stava means a hymn of praise to God. So it can be through bhajans, through chanting stotras, through chanting sahasranama. Sometimes we do Vishnu sahasranama, Lalita sahasranama. We do all these sahasranamas. We do several chanting. That's very, very purifying in its own way, because that brings our mind to divinity. This chanting has a lot of props. One is that the names can be very different. When you chant Vishnu, Vishwam, Vishnur, Vashatkaro, Bhuta, Bhavya, Bhavat, Prabhu, different names come. Or when you chant Madhurashtakam, Adharam Madhuram Vadanam Madhuram, different aspects of God comes, different aspects of goddess comes. Gatistvam, Gatistvam, Tvameka Bhavani. So it helps us connect to that God or goddess while chanting different names, chanting descriptions, um, helping us visualize that God or goddess. Sometimes we also do a bhajan, and that has lots of props. That has a shruti on the phone, that has tabla on the phone also. It can be, that has all kinds of different sound effects, right? That is called stava. So that's one way of connecting to the divine, and that's a very beautiful way, especially. And that's why our culture is so rich, because how many stotrams we have? So many different stotrams we have, and they all have different tunes, different rhythms, and we can just keep going and chanting and just being immersed in it. That is called stava. Japa becomes a little bit more subtle, because with Japa, we're using the same name. We're not changing anything. We're not making a description. We're not making a hymn. We don't have sound effects. We don't have a whole band with us. It becomes a little bit more subtle. Now, what does this Japa exactly do? So, first of all, our minds are very distracted, extremely distracted. Japa does two things: it makes the mind single pointed and it purifies the mind. Single pointed, how? Right now, today, it's so hard to focus at one thing at one time, isn't it? It's extremely difficult. If we think about when was the last time we actually focused on one thing at one time, very hard to remember. Because when we're doing one thing, we automatically think 10 different things already. Okay, I'm doing this, but after this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Or sometimes what happens is we keep on associating. We see something, we see a bottle of water, and we say, oh my gosh, there's some water crisis in this place. Oh, but my uncle is in this place. How is he doing? I haven't spoken to him in so long. Last time I spoke was Diwali. Oh, I love Diwali so much. This year we didn't get to celebrate. It goes on associating and associating and associating. So sometimes I'm thinking 10 things what I'm going to do after. Sometimes I'm associating. Sometimes it's just wondering. It's imagining responses also. My boss told me this today. Tomorrow when I go to meet my boss, I'm going to tell him this. And this is how he might respond. This is how I'll also respond. Sometimes you also imagine kinds of responses that we'll have. Sometimes we'll have also imaginations of different things. I told you that story before. This one uh, milkman, he kept going to sell milk in the bazaar, and one day he saw this very pretty lady. So he said, wow, she's very good looking. And the next day when he was bringing his milk, he said, you know maybe I should ask her out to have some chat with me, some chat and some lassi with me, and we can go out. And then maybe later on, she might like me. And then maybe later on, we might get married. And then maybe later on, we might have children. And but those children better listen to me. Otherwise, if they don't listen to me, then I will, get so angry. And then he drops the milk before going to the bazaar. He cannot sell his milk, isn't it? Sometimes this is what we do. We imagine so many things. We misplace our phone. Where did we put our phone? Where did we put that? We don't know what's going on. Our minds are like this. And the thing is, it's only getting worse. With the advent of all this social media and all of that, it becomes so easy to click somewhere else. We're reading something, and then automatically they'll put 5 ads there. Then automatically we'll click there, and then click there and click there. We forget what we're doing. So the cure for this kind of mind is japa. And this is why we, in our culture, we do the Upanayana ceremony for boys and girls when they're 6, 7 years old. to get them to do japa right there and then. Because when I do japa, what happens is my mind learns to focus on one thought exclusive of all other thoughts. Exclusive of all other thoughts. It's like if my mind is like this scattered, distracted, it's learning to just go here. And every time it moves an inch, it's learning to go back and learning to go back and learning to go back. That is called japa. When my mind is exclusively focused on one thought at one time, that is called japa. And that kind of thought that it's focused on, that's also important. It's not just any thought. It's not like chair, 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 table, table, table. It's a divine thought. It's a divine thought. So not only is it making me very, very focused, but it's also purifying me, because the minute that I utter a name of God, that form just comes. It comes. And your mind gets purified by that form of Devi, that form of Rama, that form of Krishna. It gets purified by that form. So this japa has a twofold effect wherein I can develop a single pointed mind, and at the same time, the mind becomes pure. It becomes pure. It learns to think purity. So those impure thoughts, they slowly go out of my mind. And in japa, I learn to manage my mind. My mind becomes available to me. When I say, okay, mind, for this time to this time, this is what we're going to do. That mind slowly learns to become available to me. And when that mind is available to me, I can accomplish so many things. Because it is not that I have to work for so many hours. If my mind is available to me, I can do it in 20 minutes. That's all. And this is what we'll find. This is how we find our saints and sages, how they're able to do so many things. Oh, we can't even do one thing properly. They're able to do in one day how much they've lived, how much they've given to the world. Look at Swami Vivekananda. How much? Because his concentration power was so superb that anything that he did, he could do it in minutes and deeply, because that power was there. That practice of japa tells us how to focus, teaches us how to focus. And at first, this practice is excruciating. It's very difficult. You will be with that mala and then you will be like, when am I going to finish this mala? How many beads have I finished? And you're closing your eyes and you're looking, is it already 108? No, it's excruciating. That, beginning of japa, to even sit there, to even go through it, it's very hard. But as we do it, and even the beginning, you can start with 27, start with 11 also. As we do it, it becomes easier. It becomes easier. It becomes more natural. It even becomes automatic. Believe it or not, it does happen. In the beginning, it can seem like such a struggle, but it takes practice. And the results are profoundly deep. You will just see it in your own life. How that concentration power needs to or increases. We don't need to spend so much money on any course, how to focus, brain power, this and that. Just do japa. That's all. It's free. You take a japa mala. That name of Bhagavan is ever available. And you take it up. And you can do it also anytime. You don't need anything. To connect to God, you don't need Wi-Fi. What a beautiful thing. You don't need Wi-Fi, you don't need a phone, you don't need all of these things. Just close your eyes and the connection is instantaneous. That's called japa. And it is said that in Kali Yuga, that name of God can be the best best purifier. Now, so this japa has that ability to make us single-pointedly focus. Now, what's very important is many of us dig these little pits and we go Ishta Devata shopping. Huh? This Ishta Devata, or should I do this Ishta Devata, or this japa, or that didn't work. That doesn't work at all because we're creating little pits. If you and I had said the same mantra with that same Ishta Devata, we would have built a well of sadhana. So deep we would have gone. So this, trying out this and trying out that and trying out that doesn't work. It doesn't work. You pick one. All are God anyway. You pick one that resonates with you, resonates with your being, your nature, that just fits with you. And if you don't know, you speak to someone. You speak to someone who can guide you. You pick one and you stick to that one and you go deeply into that one until you become that one. That is it. There's no going here and there. Of course, different festivals, different celebrations we will do different japa mantras, we'll do different sadhanas, different puja. That's there. That is extra to your daily japa. Swami Shivananda ji is very strict. He says japa is meant to be done 4 times a day. morning, he says afternoon, evening, and nighttime. He says, do your japa between 1 to 10 malas a day. Gurudev would say, at least 3 malas a day. I'm saying to all of us, if we have not started, at least 1 mala a day. Let's at least get that done. And once we get that done, then the others become easy. And as I said, at first, we won't want to sit down. We'll struggle to sit down. But later on, we will want to sit down. We'll automatically say, it's my japa time. Now let me just go into my japa. We'll enjoy it so much. Now, about the purity aspect. Whatever we think, we become. This we know so much. The more we think about something, we become like it. That's why they say, when the children, they become like their parents also. They become, because they keep thinking about their parents. Whoever you keep thinking about, you become like that only. So therefore, when we think of that Ishta Devata, those qualities actually come to manifest in our lives. They just come. That the whoever's Ishta Devata is Devi Saraswati, you will see. Whoever's Ishta is Gayatri, you will see that in their life. Ishta Devata is Bhagavan Krishna, you will see that in their life. So how that japa becomes manifest is those qualities itself coming to your being. That form of God as though comes and lives in your very heart. Now, modern day, we have what is called affirmation statements. Na? So that is also repetition. I am confident, I am strong, I am brave. We have all these things. We'll stick in the mirror and then we'll stick all these statements to make us feel good, to make us feel great. That is also good in the beginning, when the seeker needs lots of confidence, lots of esteem, lots of, when they're feeling down. Those are good. But what's beautiful about japa is that there's a surrender of that even ego. When I say I am bold, I am brave, I am amazing, I am beautiful, I am this, I am that, there is the sense of ego also there that will eventually build up, and the seeker can be all about themselves then. But when I do japa, what I'm saying is, Bhagavan, by your grace, single pointedness is coming. By your grace, beauty is coming. By your grace, silence is coming. Everything is by your grace, by your grace, by your grace. So that ego also gets dissolved. So this japa is even deeper than an affirmation statement. These affirmation statements are, I said, helpful in the beginning, but this is even deeper than that. So this is japa. This is what it does. Now, the succession of japa. So as I said, first is that stava, that's stuti. That's singing Bhagavan's praises, bhajan, this, that. That is very wonderful to do. It's, it also makes you, when we sing, it makes us younger. So if you want to look young and all, you don't need cream and all these things. Just sing, your heart, your the hormones, everything opens up, you become younger. So this singing is very healing. It has a healing power. Then superior to that is japa. That then is what we call loud japa. Uccha japa is loud japa. Where others can hear the japa, that is called loud japa. This is especially helpful when we have trouble concentrating. We have trouble focusing. We need to repeat the words loudly, or we need to chant with something. It's okay if you're chanting with something on YouTube, but you also chant. So, uccha. Then slowly, when we become more and more focused, then manda. Just the lips will move. Manda. Just the lips will move. So if it's Om Namah Shivaya, then slowly even the lips will stop and it will become Chitta Japa. It will become Manasik Japa. Just the mind is moving. Now, this is a kind of thing that happens automatically. Just like when you're singing a bhajan, automatically sometimes you just want to be quiet and just revel in it. The same way when we do japa, automatically you'll want to just be a little bit more quiet, and then you'll want to stop moving. So let that transition for you and me be a natural one. No need to force it and say, oh, the subtlest one is that manasik japa, so let me just do that. No, because if that manasik japa, if the mind is not focusing on my ishta devata, focusing on here, there, everywhere else, then there's no point in doing it. The main question to ask ourselves in japa is, are we focusing on our ishta devata or mantra or not? Whatever makes us focus, that is what you do. And everyone's mind is different, and every day the mind is different. Please don't think, oh, my practice will only be loud, but tomorrow you never know, your mind can be a lot calmer. Or my practice is only manasik japa, but tomorrow my mind may be hyperactive. In that case, please chant loud. So I have to see where my mind is, and according to where my mind is, I match that way of doing japa. So chitta jam japa, that mental japa, which is dhyanam, that is uttama. That is preparing us for meditation. All great things in life happen with this single pointedness or ekagrata. All great things. One who has the single pointed focus can do anything in life. They can pick up anything. So therefore, this is a very valuable tool to not only become single pointed, but become pure at heart. This is called japa.